My name's Rosemary, Derbyshire. I started volunteering at Habitat in the year 2000. My husband died the year before, and sad as that was, it meant that I didn't have to do what I'd been doing before, so I had more free time. And a friend had been talking about Habitat, and she liked it because it was such a hands-on organisation. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I did. And I started by helping out in the office doing filing and all sorts of exciting things like that. And I went along to Bill's, and I had well of time. It's really empowering for me as a female, and a slightly older one, where we didn't do that kind of thing. To swing a hammer, nobody said, nobody let me. It was great. But then they decided to try and open a Restore. It wasn't called that then, but they did that about 9 years ago, and they asked me if I'd like to be part of that. And I think that's when I really found my niche, because I love working in the store. I've volunteered here ever since. And when we started it off, it was more or less volunteer driven. As it's grown, that's not really feasible. You need the continuity of the professionals, but I just love doing it. I still go out and build, and some years ago I joined the board, so I've just gradually become more and more involved, and I really love it. I love it. You can see a direct cause and effect, hands-on kind of thing. That although it's national and international, it's also extremely local, and you can see the benefit it has on families and communities, and hopefully trying to reinvigorate some of the more rundown areas of the city. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
An outsider, I had lived in Lexington already 10 years when I started volunteering, but as you can tell from my voice, I'm not from here. But it's really drawn me into feeling much more part of Lexington, a true member of the community. So not that I wasn't before, but as an outsider, it's just drawn me in a lot more, and I just think it's really good. The store had a few hiccups at the beginning, which was tricky, and like any organisation, it has some ups and downs, but nothing that's ever made me think no. So no, nothing insurmountable.
Okay. And how do you encourage other people to become volunteers? Do you try to get your friends or family to come in?
Yep, I'm always harassing people for donations and to come along to Bill's and to join our fundraisers. So most people know that I wear the Habitat hat. And it does draw some of my friends and family in, and some more than others, but that's the way things go. Then, well, the church is time, talent and treasure is what's needed, with us as with everybody else. And for the community at large and all the organisations, because it's so hands-on and local, I think it's a very pleasing organisation to be involved with, because you actually touch real stuff and touch real people. Other organisations, although entirely worthy, I don't misunderstand it, you can be a little bit more remote from the final product. And helping things abroad, for instance, is excellent, but you take it more on faith than on visible outcome. So it's just an encouragement for local people to see so much direct effect.
We are heavily dependent on volunteers. They're really the lifeblood of our organization. We built 19 homes last year. We built 18 or 19 this year. And everything we do, from hammering nails to office work that supports the construction to the Restore here, everything we do, again, is just completely dependent on volunteers. So they can help out in a variety of ways. We have volunteers who help 2 or 3 times a week, and volunteers who help once every 2 years, and both are valuable to our organization and anywhere in between. So the more the better. Skill is great, but not required. Same with experience. There's a spot for everyone at Lexington Habitat. We can kind of find their niche and put them to work.
Okay. And do you have any idea how many volunteers you have here right now?
Across the board, hundreds at any given time. I mean, each week we have 4 or 5 build sites going on, plus the restore's open 5 days a week, plus office volunteers. So, 50 to 75 maybe on an average week. Some, of course, are repeat, and some are new people.
Okay. And how do you recruit the volunteers?
A variety of ways. Email marketing. We have a email blast that's sent out to people. Anyone can sign up for that on our website at lexhabitat.org. So that's a main way. Word of mouth. We do current volunteers pass the word on to new volunteers. A lot of communication with companies and churches and other organizations that are part of our funders and sponsors for homes, so some of that's handled externally. Yeah, a variety of ways. And some speaking engagements as well, neighborhood associations, and again, religious groups, and school groups, and just a wide variety. I think one neat thing about Lexington Habitat is how direct that connection is. So, I mean, everything the volunteers do has a very tangible and lasting effect for the wider community. That's most obvious when you're building a home. I mean, you can see what you're doing, it's there, it's a very long and lasting impact for the family who will move into the home, the partner family, but also for the community as a whole. The more home ownership there is, the more quality properties there are, the better for the community as a whole. So when you're building a home, that's very obvious, immediate, and lasting impact, but for other volunteer opportunities as well. Again, the people in the office who are helping to organize things that get the homes built, they have an immediate impact as well. And then, of course, here in the Restore, as items are donated and then repackaged and sold to the wider community, there's a benefit in the revenue stream, helps us build more homes, a benefit in that people can find good deals, and a really cool kind of green environmental impact as well, that we're keeping a lot of stuff that's fully usable out of the landfill. In particular, as we do construction, the best laid plans always often get changed, with weather, with build delays, with being ahead of schedule sometimes. So it's just a matter of trying to keep things fluid and organized as much as possible. Our volunteers are great and responsive and flexible and willing to shift where we need them. So there's no problems per se. It's just a matter of keeping everything organized. We'd really like to. It's always kind of a double-edged sword. We always want to reach out to new people and get new people involved, particularly the younger folks, kind of the 18 to 30 range maybe. Just getting new people involved. And we also want to turn kind of the one-time volunteers and first-time volunteers into regulars. Both are really key for our long-term well-being. Getting new people, but making sure that people who come once or twice have a good enough experience that they see how their impact on a regular basis could be beneficial. And again, I can't reiterate enough that there's a spot for everyone. If someone really loves building, there's a place for them. If they really love working on the accounting side of things, we can find a spot for them in the office. It's just whatever someone's skills and background are, we can find a place for them. So, and of course, donations and contributions from the community are what keep us going funding-wise. So that's always needed and appreciated as well. The easiest way for people to get involved is just to call or email me, and we can get them plugged in. And that goes for groups and individuals. If someone's just on their own and wants to help out as a family, as long as they meet age requirements, or as a civic or school organization or whatever.